Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my reviews. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the Audi A8, the flagship from the German manufacturer, meant to take the battle to the BMW 7 Series or the Mercedes S-Class. Now, when the car was unveiled back in late 2017, early 2018, that in 2018 basically went on sale, it brought along a new design for the entire Audi lineup. As you probably know, flagships of this size usually come with new features, new technologies, as well as new design cues that will influence the rest of the lineup for the years to come. So, as you notice, we have this huge grille on the front end of the Audi A8, and this grille has become a symbol for new models. The car is built on the MLB Evo platform, so it shares its underpinnings with cars from the Audi A4 to the Audi A5, A6, A7, and a whole bunch of SUVs from the Q8 to the Lamborghini Urus, and of course the Touareg. So, some design cues will be found on several of those models. We have a lot of chrome up front. That's a signature feature on premium cars of this size. We have chrome down below, and we have these LED headlamps. On this tester we have the matrix LEDs, but you can get matrix laser LEDs as well as standard LED headlamps. From the sides, the car has a very refined feel. It's very elegant, not exactly sporty, because Audi didn't want the A8 to feel like a sports car. So we have a short overhang up here up front, which means the distance from the wheel to the front bumper's end is very short. We also have a lot of chrome down the sides. I have to point out that this is yet another instance where chrome is considered a premium material. We have chrome on the door handles, chrome on the side sills. So yet again, something that makes you feel like you have a premium car. You're in the presence of a premium car. And unlike the S-Class or the 7 Series, around the back we have a rather long overhang. Because, as I told you in many reviews so far, if you have a short overhang, it gives the car a sporty feel, a sportier look, if you will. But in this case, Audi wasn't planning on having this car feel sporty in any way. Audi just wanted it to be elegant, and it definitely is elegant round the back. We still have chrome trims over here and over here, and we have the fakest exhaust tips ever, because we don't even have exhausts over here. And we have an LED bar going from side to side. This LED bar goes from side to side, and if you get the top of the range lighting package, which includes the laser matrix headlights, you also get OLED taillights that have a little dance they do when you unlock and lock the car. And the boot, since this car is a 60 TFSI-E model, which means it's a plug-in hybrid, the boot loses some of its capacity. I have my recording stuff over here. It loses about 110 liters compared to a regular A8, but that shouldn't really be a huge problem. Inside the cabin, you'll also notice familiar design cues that are seen on modern day Audis, but they were firstly introduced by the A8. And I'm talking about the way the infotainment screen is implemented into the dashboard and this HVAC control section over here. Now, when the first time I saw the Audi A8 come out, I criticized this layout for the HVAC controls, because using a touch screen would distract you from the road whenever you wanted to adjust any type of setting in the car. But over time, I got to like it, because the touch-sensitive surfaces are not your regular kind of touch-sensitive surface. What I mean by that is that you get haptic feedback, and in order to make an adjustment, you actually have to press on the screen, just like you would on a button. So that basically makes it a bit better to use. But overall, you still have a lot of glass inside this cabin, a lot of dark materials, and that will attract a lot of dust, a lot of fingerprints, so you need to carry a cloth with you all the time. Other than that, the system is pretty straightforward. the interior of the A8 comes with a premium fit and finish like you would expect on a car of this kind of price tag. The materials are of the best quality, and you can configure it in a number of ways. You have very good quality leather on the dash, you have leather on the door panels, you have leather everywhere basically. On this tester we have black open pore trims on the dash and on the doors. They feel great to the touch. We have a lot of touch sensitive surfaces, and I have to mention this vent over here that hides away whenever you turn off the AC. That's all done in order to make the dashboard of the car feel and look a lot more premium on a day-to-day basis. I wonder just how long these little electric motors behind that do all the work over here will last over time, but that's a topic for a different discussion. The cup holders over here are rather small in size, at least for our American friends. Now we know that they prefer their beverages on a larger side of things, but at least you have great door pockets which are rather big, and we have storage spaces in them. We also have a split armrest over here. You can get the car with heated and ventilated seats like the ones we have. These also have a massaging function, and they come from the S-Line package. I wouldn't recommend going for the S-Line seats because they are rather stiff, and I would prefer more comfortable seats in my car. The infotainment screen, the infotainment system is easy to use. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it is shown on the whole width of the screen. We also have the Audi digital instrument cluster, which works great, but if you've seen one, you've seen them all. On this particular car, it's a bit different because it has some info about the plug-in hybrid drivetrain, but I will talk about that later on. Last but not least, we also have Alcantara finishing on the pillars and on the roof and on the sun blinds and everything in between, and it looks absolutely brilliant. As you would expect in a car in this segment, most of the time the owner will be sitting in the back, because these are cars bought for highly ranked executives that usually have a chauffeur for them. So the room in the back is bountiful, plentiful. We have plenty of legroom and headroom, no issues whatsoever in this regard. And the fit and finish in the back is perfect, but our tester isn't fitted with a lot of optional features. We do have this open pore wood trim on the seat backs, but that's about it. You can get a set of screens in the back of the new A8, which are detachable. You can configure it in 4 or 5 seat configuration. If you get the 5-seater like we do, you have a foldable armrest. We have a HVAC control system over here and 2 cup holders, but that's about it. But if you get the 4-seater, you can get a center console that goes from the front to the back. It has a command system over here which allows you to adjust various settings inside the car, allows you to adjust the seat position. Our seats are fixed, so they are not adjustable in any way, but you can do that in higher spec models. Also, the front right side seat can slide all the way forward, and you can relax and stretch your legs on long wheelbase cars. But overall, you know, the fit and finish is perfect. It depends on how you configure your own car, but there is plenty of room in the back, and the car is very comfortable, as I'm about to show you. When you get behind the wheel of the new Audi A8, you instantly notice that this is a very refined ride. As I said, it's built on the MLB Evo platform, which is shared with a lot of cars in the Volkswagen Audi group lineup. Now, I'm going to refer to the Audi side because this is relevant. So you're going to see this platform used on the A5, on the A6, on the A7, on the Q8, and so on. So some things will feel a lot more familiar than you would expect them to. Apart from the interior design and the way the car is set up, you'll notice that the suspension feels very familiar, but the A8 takes things to a new level. Now, you can get the A8 only with an air suspension, so that's good, but air suspensions are split because you have the basic setup and you have the most advanced setup. We have the basic setup over here, but if you get the most advanced setup, you can get a 48-volt electrical system that adjusts every single wheel independently. So using it, you can, the car has a camera over here which scans the road ahead, and it sees the bumps and the potholes and everything, and it can prepare the car for each and every single type of scenario. So it can adjust each wheel independently. It can stiffen it. It can make sure that the wheel travel is long enough to soak up those bumps, and the car feels very refined even in this configuration, but I imagine in that one would be even better. Now, the best part about that optional air suspension is the fact that you can get a safety feature which basically raises the car in case it senses an imminent impact on the sides, raising it by about 8 centimeters. In this way, whenever a car hits you, the side sill will absorb a lot of the impact, possibly saving your life in the process. That is a very smart move from Audi. The Audi pre-tense system actually works. It scared the crap out of me the other day when I was just sitting at a red light, and an incoming cyclist had a lot of speed, and the car felt that it will crash into us, and warned me of a potential hit from the back. It really grabbed me by the chest with the seat belt. It stiffened the seat, and it showed all sorts of warnings inside the cabin. It was ready to go. It's very interesting, and this is a very trippy car because it sets off a lot of safety features really often, and in my book with no reason, but that's a different topic. Also, when Audi unveiled the A8, it was the first car that had level 3 autonomous driving. Now, there's a whole discussion about this feature though, because as you may very well know, there are 5 levels in the autonomous driving game right now. The first level is the regular cruise control system that basically just holds a certain speed. Then you have level 2 systems that not only hold a certain speed, but also can brake and accelerate depending on the car in front of you. They can keep you in lane, but all you have to do is keep your hand on the steering wheel and be careful all the time. Be ready to take over at any moment. Level 3 systems will allow you to take your eyes off the road and your hand off the steering wheel in certain cases. So basically, you don't have to put your hand on the steering wheel every 10 seconds or so, and the car can overtake on its own as well. Now, the problem with this system is that it's illegal in many parts of the world because the laws haven't been adapted. So Audi can only offer it in certain countries, which is a shame because it's a really smart system. It's better than what Tesla is offering, which, by the way, the self-pilot and the autopilot and full self-driving system, they are all just level 2 systems. They are not level 3. So this system can be used in various countries around the world at speeds up to 60 kilometers an hour. This car doesn't have it, and it would be illegal in this country too, so I can't really show you how it works. But the adaptive cruise control system works great, keeps me at a safe distance from the car in front, keeps me on the lane, and in case I'm not paying attention, the car will pull over and stop if I don't respond to its inputs. So let's talk about the drivetrains. On the Audi A8 lineup, you have basically 2 engine sizes and 3 different layouts. You have a 3-liter V6 diesel with 286 horsepower. You have a 3-liter V6 petrol engine with 340 horsepower. And you have a V8 on the S8 model. Now, this car is the most powerful one you can get, except the S8. It's the Audi A8 60 TFSIe. That E at the end tells you that this is a plug-in hybrid. It uses the V6 from the regular A8, but it also has an electric motor next to it, making it a hybrid, of course. So the petrol engine has 340 horsepower. The electrical motor has 136 horsepower. Together, they can deliver up to 450 horsepower. By now you probably know that in certain cases hybrids cannot deliver all the power at the same time simultaneously, so you have a lower output, total output, than the maximum combined powers of the two motors on board. But 450 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque is more than enough for any kind of purpose, any kind of car, even a car of this size that tips the scale at 2.4 tons and it's 5 meters long. It will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.9 seconds, which is blazing fast. And the car feels very fast when you drive it. Due to that electric motor, it has basically zero turbo lag, and the moment you press the gas pedal, you just go. And you can overtake just about anything on the road. It's really fast, and it feels like a luxury yacht on land, like a Luxor barge, like we like to call them, because it's big and heavy and comfortable, and it floats a lot when you accelerate. Of course, you can switch it into sport mode, and in that case, the air suspension stiffens up a lot. So it controls the body roll a lot better, but still the car is a bit on the heavier side, so you won't be able to drive it like you would an RS6 or an RS4, for example. It does have Quattro, which means it's all-wheel drive, and it's a longitudinal system, so it's not a Haldex system. Basically, it sends more power to the rear. Feels great. I cannot complain. The gearbox is an 8-speed ZF unit, configured perfectly. Can't really complain there either. So what you should also know is that there's a battery on board, as you would expect on a plug-in hybrid. It's stored in the back, under the rear seats, and somewhere in the boot. Takes up some of the boot space. It has 14.1 kilowatt hours of energy storage, and according to Audi, this should allow you to travel electrically only for about 50 kilometers. I only got like 35, but that's fine. I mean, I think this car was set up for those who want to drive them around city centers and not pay congestion tax and stuff like that. It's a good mix. It's enough for an early attempt. You can charge it up to 7.4 kilowatts, which is nice for a plug-in hybrid. Most of them come with 3.5, 3.6 kilowatt chargers, so that's fine. You can replenish it in about 2 hours. As far as the fuel consumption goes, it really doesn't matter. What matters is how far you can go on electricity alone and how far you can go combined. And combined, I saw an average estimated range of about 600 kilometers with a full tank of gas, so that should be enough for most people, most situations. So what else is there to say? It's a very comfortable car, as you would expect from an A8. What impressed me the most is the sound insulation. It's very, very quiet inside. Even at higher speed, at triple-digit speeds, the car is extremely quiet. And I was mostly impressed by the underfloor. That's the quietest underfloor I've ever heard. There's basically zero noise coming from the wheel wells, which is very impressive. They did a lot of work in this regard. Most of the noise, surprisingly to me, comes from the windshield and the side windows, which, by the way, you can get double glazed side windows and double glazed windshields on the A8, which means it will reduce the noise even more at higher speeds. What's the bad side to this is that you can reach eye-watering speeds in the blink of an eye and you can lose your license, so you need to be careful about that. One last mention is the sound system. We have an optional Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is decent, but it's not really that great. I think the Harman Kardon sound system and the Burmeister sound system on the 7 Series and the S-Class respectively are better. This system sounds kind of flat. It lacks in the mid-range, but then again, this is the cheapest you can get out of the three. It's about 1,100 euros. So, you know, for that kind of money, it's okay. But if you're an audiophile like I am, you should get the 7,000 euro Bang & Olufsen optional system, which is pretty freaking amazing. It's on par with the Bowers & Wilkins system from BMW and the Burmeister 4D system from Mercedes. That said, this has been my review of the Audi A8 60 TFSIe, the plug-in hybrid choice on the range. It's a very good car, very refined, and it feels like a matured recipe already. If you're into the market for one of these cars, you should definitely consider the A8 as a potential buy, and why not maybe this plug-in hybrid version if it fits your lifestyle. As I said in many reviews, plug-in hybrids need to be recharged in order to be as efficient as possible. So if you're able to recharge this car daily, you should go ahead and consider it for your next purchase. That said, don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe. It keeps this channel alive. And until next time, don't forget to feed your passions. Ciao.